Today, I'm gonna taste test and rank different flour-themed cakes from 4 of the best bakeries in my area. I've never seen these cakes. I don't know what they're gonna look like. All I know is that I am the most beautiful flour cake today. And tasty, too. Okay, so here's the judging criteria for today's video. I'm going to rate the cakes first by looks, and then we're gonna go through and eat them all, and I'll rate them by taste. I'm gonna rate them on a 1 to 5 star scale. I usually do 1 to 10, but that's too many stars. Who's gonna win big? Who's gonna disappoint? Hopefully no one. All right, with that, let's bring in the first cake. Hey, Cake Twink. So I just burped and I ate so much garlic. It's awful.
Oh.
Yeah.
You can't appreciate this yet, but I match.
Wait, really?
Yeah. So when you open your eyes, one of these is gonna be a cake, and the other one is gonna be Cake Twink.
Okay,
Ready?
yes.
3, 2, 1.
I think this is the cake.
Okay, please don't kill me.
Okay. That was a funny bit though. Good job. It looks better on you than me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It messed up my hair. I'm gonna go fix it.
Okay. Wait. Oh, wow. Look at this. I have a cake right here. Okay. So this is interesting. So I have what appears to be like sunflowers in like a mosaic style terracotta pot, which is cool. I like the idea of this. Okay. Though I love this like faux tile work. And I think these are like maybe bits of chocolate in different colors, it feels like. When you're doing something like a mosaic effect, it's already gonna be like kind of messy because like mosaic work is a little messy. But what makes mosaic work is like going through, grouting each piece and then wiping off the excess. And I can see like buttercream just like jutting out in certain areas. And there's like buttercream on some of the tiles. So it ruins the illusion of like, this is supposed to be grout in between tiles. You see that right there? There's like buttercream, there's just like a splotch of buttercream on that mosaic tile. But I like the look of it. I much prefer this cake from further away than from close up. Also, there's like randomly 2 gold pearls on the back, which like either put the pearls in or don't. I don't really get that. I will say, I really love that they got the terracotta color at the top of the pot, almost perfect. Like that really looks like real terracotta. It's a little messy in the back where the seams meet. They should have worked on that a little harder. The dirt looks great. Most cake decorators, when they're doing like fake dirt, will just crush up Oreos, that works, but they've taken it a step further. These are definitely not Oreos. These are more brown, like brown dirt. Maybe they're like a chocolate biscotti or something. And there seems to be like chunks of nuts, which make it a little bit more lifelike as well, because dirt isn't just one solid color. I love sunflowers. They're real sunflowers, and I feel like that they just like last minute shove sunflowers in the cake. So I don't know how I feel about that. Listen, making cake flours is an art, and there are people who specialize in just sugar flours. I don't expect everybody to know how to make flours. I don't specialize in flour work, but these are just like raw sunflowers. Okay, this is so weird. It's weird because a lot of this works, but a lot of it's lazy. Like look, when I take this out, you can see they've wrapped this sunflower in plastic wrap, which is good. It makes it food safe when you put it in the cake. However, the plastic wrap is just jutting out past the dirt. So it ruins the illusion. It's like, why is there like plastic wrap in my cake? There's just sloppy work, and I wish they had covered the cake board, make it look like cement or maybe dirt, like this pot is like outside. Okay, so this cake was $144, which is reasonable given the size of it. Like this is gonna feed a lot of people. From far away, I would rate this like a 4 out of 5, but there's just so many things about it that are like forgotten about and lazy. Okay, I'm gonna rate this a 2.5 out of 5. Spoiler alert, I like eating cake, but I promised myself this year I'd live a balanced life, and I'm trying to work out more. And I just started using Ladder, which is a strength training app that gives me a plan every day for working out. And honestly, like I said, I am new to this. I am not an expert at working out, and I'm certainly not an expert at the gym. Sometimes I feel a little intimidated there. So I love having this app because it gives me a plan for each and every workout. Honestly, it's kind of like having a personal trainer in my headphones while I work out, and it's less than $1 a day, so it's much more affordable. And I am focused mostly on Pilates and body weight strength training because I am not a big man. So I love that there is a customizable workout plan that feels like it's meant just for me. If you want to try out Ladder, you can do that today by downloading the Ladder app and getting a free 7-day trial. Don't you hate it when companies say it's a free trial, but then they start charging you and you forget to cancel your account? Ladder doesn't do that. They don't take your credit card information for those first 7 days. And after the 7-day trial, if you like it, which I think you will, you can scan the QR code below or click the link in my description and you'll get $10 off your first month of Ladder. How fun is that? All right, now I'll get back to eating cakes. Balance, right? Remember balance? All right, Cake Twink, bring me my next cake. You know what, Cake Twink, I can buy myself flowers. Okay, ready? Oh. Okay, that's cute. Wow, I wasn't expecting flowers in like a bouquet form. I was expecting them all to be in like a vase or a pot. So I like this. Okay, first and foremost, I love that it's an explosion of beautiful roses. The flowers are gorgeous. Like if somebody bought me those flowers and this wasn't a cake, I'd be thrilled. Love the bright pink. Love that they've dusted this cake with edible glitter. That adds just another element to it. I love the bow. I love how the bow lands on the cake board. I love that there's movement to it. That's hard to do because when you make something out of fondant, fondant wants to collapse in on itself. So like the fact that this has some buoyancy is nice. I also love that there are flowers sticking out of the top of the cake, but then to sell the illusion that they go all the way through, they put the stems at the base of the cake. That's so smart. Oh, and I love the attention to detail. They also put like what would be the paper like rolled up. Here's my big critique, okay? The fondant is marbled with pink and white, but I think they've over marbled it, they've over kneaded it so that you lose a lot of that marbling and it just sort of looks like one uniform color with a couple imperfections of white. So what I would have done is just marbled it less. Basically, you just don't knead it as hard, you don't incorporate the two colors together as much, and then you roll it out so you get a true marbling effect, if that's what you're going for. Also, I do notice that this cake is sort of boxy, though it's cut in a triangle shape. Like a bouquet of roses would come together in a cone shape, and this is coming together in more of like a boxy triangle. And I get it, they're giving us more cake that way, they're not shaving as much cake down. But for an illusion cake like this, I kind of wish they had tapered these edges at a harsher line so that it looked more like a cone of stems. I will say this is really cute, and it would be a really nice gift to give like the lady in your life. Hey Johnny, you got any ladies in your life? Remember when people asked me that? No, you don't remember that, but I was a kid and people were like, hey, how you doing with ladies? And I'd be like, girl, not well. Not well, bitch. You know what I noticed? There's some water on this cake and it makes me wonder. That's really interesting. So they didn't prep these flowers. So whenever you make a cake and you put fresh flowers in them, as to not like poison people, you need to wrap the stems.
You want to protect it. Wrap it up.
Roses aren't gonna kill you, but there might be pesticides or something that leak out of the stems into the cake. So I'm not gonna eat this side of the cake. I'm only gonna eat this side of the cake. And by the way, there are stems on this side of the cake. So maybe I'll stake to the center of this cake. This cake was $166, which I think is a pretty good deal. Yo, flowers alone cost like $20, and that's like 2 dozen. It's small, but it's cute. So I'm gonna give this a 3 out of 5 stars. Alrighty, let's bring in the next cake. Cake Twink, bring me flowers. I've been so good and I like to watch you shower.
Okay, once again, and as always, my mom watches this channel.
It's fine, showering is natural.
Okay.
Is it on this side though?
Yeah, it's on
Okay, because this is my good side, so put it over there.
Okay, Mariah.
And yes, you can put that in the video. I do have a good side. You guys, let me know in the comments, which is my better side, this or this? 3, 2, 1. We have the same thing. Rewind the tapes. I was doing this and I was looking and then, Mama, are you from Mario? Are you from the Mario Cinematic Universe? God, I love this. Oh my God, what is happening? Okay, let's just break this puppy down. God, there's so much to look at. I love this. It really does look like that thing that like Mario jumps into. Let me tell you what I love about this because there's a lot. First of all, the magnitude. It's just really in your face. If you walked into a party and this was sitting on like a dessert table, you'd be like, I gotta go over there and see what's happening. I love the expressiveness of the face. I love that it pops out. It's 3D. It's airbrushed within an inch of its life. So all of the flowers have different shades. It really pops. It's almost like it almost reminds me of like wearing 3D glasses. And then the spherical face with that that is Pac-Man. That is Pac-Man dressed up as a flower for Halloween. I love the eyes and the rosy cheeks. I love the tongue sticking out, the eyebrows going like, woo. I love that. So this part I love. I'm sure it's not edible, but that might be my favorite part of the cake. Once you go down a little bit further, it starts to derail. The stem is okay. The leaf needs work. This is wafer paper. Wafer paper, I think, is what you like. I think it's what they use in church to like make wafer chips. You know, when you did that in church. Did you guys go to church? I was so bad at church. I did get baptized, but then I did not get, I was too gay for the church. Anyway, I did have some wafers and I think it's that, but this is just like airbrush green to look like a leaf. The problem is the leaf is like curling up and out on itself. Wafer paper glues to itself really easily with water. I like the dirt. Inexplicably, there's like glitter in the dirt, which is fine. It feels like chocolate cake, like the bakery had some chocolate cake laying around, which weirdly they airbrushed at the base of it, I guess to give it more dimension. But the problem is they didn't clean up the airbrush on the plate. There's a lot going on from far away. I love it. When you get up close, especially on the back, you can see imperfections, rips in the fondant, weird lumps and bumps. Every cake has a bad side. How much was this cake? $350. Okay, wow, that's expensive. I think accounting for the price and all the imperfections, even though this warms my heart and makes me feel something, I think I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. All right, I'm closing my eyes.
Bring me my last cake. I have a little house twink who I boss around.
All right, in 3, 2, 1. What? Oh my gosh. Whoa. 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 I mean, this is stunning. I have 2 thoughts. 1, beautiful, stunning, fairy tale. 2, flower. Interesting.
There's a flower.
There's a flower, and it's a beautiful flower. This is a knockout. This cake is f***ing stunning. Okay, so what I'm being told is mushrooms are not flowers, but they are the reproductive part of the fungi, which is similar to a flower. Is that what Google says?
That's what Google
If Google says it, it must be true. I was the kid in class who, when the teacher said, paint a rainbow, everybody did the rainbow, and I was like, I'm gonna do a guy who has rainbow hair. You know what I mean? Because I was a kooky, crazy girl like that. I wasn't like the other girlies. So I kind of like, this cake isn't like the other girlies, nor should it necessarily be. Let's break down all the things I love. I'm gonna start at the top and go to the bottom, and I hope I don't miss anything. 1, the snail. It's so cute. I love his little body, a little antenna. It really looks like this is a forest with animals coming alive. Love the mushroom top. Hey, Cake Twink, have you heard that one before? Honey. Sorry, Mrs. Cake Twink, but that was too good to pass up. What the baker here has done is something, I believe this is flocking, where you grind up wafer paper really fine in like a spice grinder. And basically it gives like a velvety, like a crushed velvet illusion. You could do this if you're making a cake that's supposed to look like a velvet couch, right? And it really adds dimension and texture, and it feels forest-like, right? It's not just flat, there's like some sort of texture to it. This baker has gone through with a fine Dresden tool and made all of these fine, imperfect lines, perfectly imperfect. There's all this dusting with edible dust to create dimension and dirt and shape, like a real mushroom. And then the bottom part is really great. So this looks like moss. My guess would be that it's cake. So basically, if you want to create the illusion of moss, you make a microwave cake. Basically, you just bake the cake in a microwave. And what happens is the crumb is a lot more intense. It looks more like moss. There's big air pockets. And they just did a good job. Also, I love that they didn't just stop there, right? They did grass as well out of maybe shaved coconuts that they dyed. I mean, this is This is a work of art. You'll also notice, remember I said on the first cake, the cake board was unfinished? Look at this. They put fondant on the cake board, green fondant, and then they wrapped the whole cake drum with a brown bow. So it's that like forest color palette. Every inch of this display piece is thoughtful. By the way, cake orchids are hard to do. Plus, they're the only people who made realistic looking flowers, right? All the other cakes either used fresh flowers or made like a cartoony flower. And I bet that flower is 100% edible. I mean, look at the inside of the flower. It's dusted with pink. There's the like, what's that thing called? The stamen? Stamen.
Johnny, if you were in a fairy tale, what kind of fairy tale would you be in?
If I was in a fairy tale, I'd be in Beauty and the Beast because I've been in Beauty and the Beast, okay? I played Lumiere. And honey, let me tell you, the crowd went wild. My friend's mom brought her gay friend to that production, and he turned to her at intermission and goes, girl, that boy is gay.
That boy is gay, and I really believe that.
This is stunning. I mean, this is stunning. This is giving very much Taylor Swift Eras Tour. Love it. Okay, so this cake was $450, which honestly, like, this is a work of art. So like, $450 seems fair to me, even though it's by far the most expensive cake today. Only thing that's not perfect about this cake is that it's not totally on theme with flour, but I still love it. So I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
It's your channel, your rules. For me, this is a total 5. I love that this baker took your prompt and did something more interesting with it. I don't think they should be punished. They took your prompt of flour and they made a whole universe.
You don't look at this and go, flour.
No, I don't, but isn't the prompt just to get you out the door? Like this is doing something more interesting than just, you know.
You know what? Relationships are about compromise. So you know what we're gonna do?
4.75.
Yep. Great. All right, 4.75. Now, let's get to eating. Look at all my babies. This is my favorite collection of cakes so far. I think it's just like bright and floral and fun. So this cake is blueberry cake layers with whipped white chocolate ganache. So this cake has chocolate cake layers with an Oreo filling and fresh strawberries. This cake is red velvet with cream cheese frosting. And this final one is a marbled cake with cookie butter buttercream and cookie crumbles. I don't even have to eat the slice that I cut. The cake just broke into a bunch of slices for me. Okay. I don't know, to me, it's not giving much blueberry. I feel like it's almost boring. Like blueberry whipped white chocolate ganache sounds great, but like it just tastes like a vanilla cake with white buttercream that you would get at like a grocery store. It's totally like average. I don't like it. I'm gonna give it like a 1. Very boring. Also, this cake fell apart. Okay, let's try this one. I'm excited for this. I love Oreo. I think I've had this cake flavor before. It's really nice. The layers taste wet in like a nice way, almost like a bread pudding. The Oreo is nice. They're not crunchy because they've been sitting in the frosting, and I wish they were a little bit crunchier. The only thing is it's a little flat. There's no textural difference, but the flavor of the cake is good. The filling is just kind of like mush. I'll give it a 3 out of 5 stars. All right, our third cake is pretty standard. We got red velvet cream cheese frosting. It's like peanut butter and jelly. It's 2 peas in a pod. Really light and airy. Like the cake feels almost weightless, like there's nothing on my fork, which I guess is good. The frosting's just overly sweet. This is tricky because when you make cream cheese frosting, you have to put a ton of powdered sugar in it so that it's not like soupy, because cream cheese is like more liquidy than butter, if that makes sense. It's a solid red velvet cake, a little sweet for my taste. I'll give it 3.5 out of 5.
Jonathan, we need to have a talk, okay?
No,
We've been through this. You can't,
I know.
You can't keep kissing the
I'm
cakes.
trying. The after show is where I rate how good they are 1 to 5 kisser.
Yeah, we are
And
getting
this
some.
is, don't be jealous because he's a better kisser than you. Marble cake and cookie. Oh my God, you guys. Okay. Oh, I love the cookie crumbles in it. I love the cookie butter taste. It gives it that almost nutty taste, so it feels floral and like foresty. The cake is so moist, perfect crumb. The buttercream is definitely Swiss meringue. It's light. It almost tastes like ice cream in like buttercream form. Not too sweet. Oh my God. Oh God, that's good, you guys. Oh, I can't stop eating it. There's caramel, gooey caramel in the center. I don't know if this is like my favorite cake I've had on this channel, but it's really up there. You get the creaminess of the caramel. It requires a glass of milk or some liquid of some kind because all of these flavors are mouth drying, right? Like the cookie butter, you know when you eat like cookie butter, it like dries your mouth out. Cake already, it makes you thirsty, but there's a quick solution for that, hang on. Yes, that tastes like milk and cookies. That's perfect. So this cake I do want the milk with it, but it's like, it tastes like dunking cookies in milk. This is so good. I'll go to a 4.5 out of 5. That is so good. I just ate an entire piece of cake. Also, it's giving Sonic the Hedgehog. You know what I'm saying? All right, so let's tally up our scores and find our winner. Okay, so cake number 1 got a 2.5 on looks and only a 1 on taste, giving it 3.5 out of 10 points. Yikes. Sorry, cake 1. Sorry. Sorry. Okay, cake number 2 was a 3 in looks and a 3 in taste. That's crazy. So that's 6 out of 10 total. Still not a great score. Maybe they shouldn't have tried to poison me with that. Cake 3 was a 4 in looks, although I'm sort of doubting myself on that one. There's some issues up close. And a 3.5 in taste, which gives it a 7.5 out of 10, which is a passing grade, like my grades in high school. You're not gonna get into the best college, and cake number 4 had a 4.75 in looks because Steven and I couldn't agree. And then a 4.5 in taste, giving it a 9.25 total, which means that our winner today is cake number 4, this beautiful forest, mushroomy, snail, butterfly, one flower masterpiece. May not have been totally on theme, but it was the most beautiful and the most delicious by a landslide. Let me know what you would like to see me review next, what the theme of my next cake review video should be, and let me know in the comments which one of these you wish you had the most. Why is it number 4? People vote weird. People like different things. Let's just put it that way. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I can't wait for the next one. Wait, let me see if I can bite it.
Is it food?
It's cardboard.
Not food.
No. Sorry, I'm taking a point off for that. Bad kisser.